Hello everybody and welcome back to more I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. We have a little more time before the famine and we're going to spend that doing what we can to gather more food outside and also to take care of some friendship raising and try and keep Socks all happy, because somebody said in the comments that I need to make sure Socks gets food so that they don't run away, so we're going to try and make sure to keep an eye out for that one too. But to start with, I think I'm going to go out and I'm going to do some exploration. Actually, I think we may be able to go to the survey area now. The plains. Oh yeah, we gotta look for the Dwarfs Moth, right? Yeah, and I believe the Dwarfs Moths are up north. So if we can go out, that would be great. I think we can start going out now. So I'll do one thing here, and then we'll see if it pops up because it's our birthday this month. Today's task is shoveling a pile of compost taller than your head in the back of the colony's biggest hover lift. Then you're supposed to take it to one of the furthest fields. They're trying to grow corn there. You steer up from your little shovel to the massive pile of compost and sigh. This is going to take forever. This is going to be fun, Cal declares as he jogs up. He looks admiringly up at the towering dirt mound. He drops a small ball into his shovel and tosses it to you. Here, I made up a game to help us while we work. I call it Shovel Ball, and everybody wins. You climb to the top of the pile, and you're going to dig down while I dig from the bottom. Between every shovel of dirt, you have to pass the ball to the other person, and we score a point if they catch it. If you don't make 3 successful passes in a row, you have 10 seconds to swap positions. He rattles off a bunch of other random rules. You know he's probably making it up as he goes, but it sure beats shoveling in silence. Let's play Shovel Ball! That sounds intense. Four. And then... The game is so breathtakingly stupid, and you actually kind of love it. Before you know it, the compost heap is all shoveled up and loaded onto the hover lift. Cal is careful to never say which of you is better at Shovel Ball. It's a cooperative game after all. He's just happy he got to spend the afternoon playing games. Aw, that's a good card too. Ooh, and we got increased rewards for shoveling dirt, so I think we're pretty much done. Oh! Yabby, can I get your help with something in the barn? Cal asks. You excuse yourself from planting and follow Cal. Something's wrong with Socks, Cal says, closing the door behind you. No! She won't eat, and she cries all the time. You look into Socks' crate. She's almost too big for it now, even curled up into a ball. She raises her head and peeps miserably at you, then curls even tighter, her bulbous antennae drooping. She looks paler, right? Cal says, coming up beside you. She's always sleepy and cold. I don't know what to do. She won't eat leaves anymore, and anything else I bring her, potatoes, corn, wheat, beans, she just chews and spits them out. He points to the lid of the box. She's been chewing on her box, too, he says. I'm worried she's going to chew her way out and escape while I'm not here. Cal rubs Socks under her chin, but she barely responds to his touch. You've been outside the walls, right, Yabby? Have you ever seen any animals like Socks? Full-grown ones? What do they eat? I'll look next time I'm surveying. Thank you, Yabby, Cal says, sighing as he closes the box. I'm really worried. We'll see if we can do it. Yes, we unlocked Explore Nearby. It's time for us to go out and see if we can find stuff for Socks and also see what scares Dwarfs Moths. Ooh, card training. We have a mission out here. We have to find the Dwarfs Moth weakness so that they'll get away from the fields, and we also have to look for grown-up Sockses. So let's get started. I didn't find anything yet, but we'll keep looking. I'll make sure to check as much as I can. I don't know how much time we have to find something for Socks. Oh! You spy a creature that reminds you of Cal's illicit pet Socks. A Dillypillar, maybe? Except it's huge. Really, really long. Like as long as the stratospheric. Enormous. Could it be the same? You aren't totally sure. You watch it using your holoculars. So far in the distance, it looks like a train crawling along one of the great cliffs along the resting ridges to the west. It crawls down the cliff face towards the Great Plains, not far from you. Stay back and watch from afar. It sniffs around the base of the cliff for a long time. The cliff is made of sparkling iridescent rock, almost the same shimmer as the Dillypillar's scales. Pretty! The Dillypillar starts to eat something. You can't quite see what from so far away. Seems to be eating something that grows in the rocks. It grazes for nearly an hour, then crawls back up the cliff face and disappears, heading west. You take diligent survey notes, but you have another motive. Whatever the creature was eating, maybe Socks needs it too. After it leaves, you investigate the base of the cliff where it had been. There are some scrubby grasses growing there that seem pretty common. You grab a few handfuls of these, and a flower you've never seen before, orange and kinda lumpy. You uproot a few of these as well to bring back to Socks. Better bring these to Cal. Okay, good, we got stuff for Socks. What is that thing? You're surveying some weird algae bloom when it starts to get dark. You pack up for the day and begin to head back when you see a cloud of Dwarfs Moths fluttering overhead. Them! The same villains that keep eating your crops! You decide to follow them. You creep silently over after the Dwarfs Moths. They don't seem afraid of you, or anything at all. The Dwarfs Moth eventually converge on a clearing where hundreds of them rest against the stalks of giant fungal trees. The sound of their wings rubbing against each other is like music. The entire clearing glimmers with dust. It's so pretty! You stand there and watch for a few minutes. Suddenly, the peace of the clearing is broken by squeaking and a chaos of flapping wings. The Dwarfs Moth all explode from their perches, sending clouds of choking dust into the air. Through the dust, you can see a Dwarfs Moth locked in a vicious battle with a small creature. It's all over so quickly. You watch the creature cling to the Dwarfs Moth's back as it flails around, until it climbs up and rips out the Dwarfs Moth's throat with tiny, vicious teeth. More squeaking fills the clearing. From the trees descend an entire family of the things, and they set upon the corpse of the Dwarfs Moths like it's a kingly buffet. They hop around and hiss at each other, popping up like popcorn. This sound is incredible, like the screeching of a chair across the floor. The rest of the Dwarfs Moths have completely vanished. The cries of these tiny hunters must have scared them off. How cool! You whip open your holopalm and record their squeaking and chittering as they devour their meal. If you play this, it's bound to scare the Dwarfs Moths away from your fields, too. You don't think you would have believed it if you hadn't seen it with your own eyes. The little things, you decide to call them Bounceweasels, are like 1/5 the size of the Dwarfs Moth. They are even more cute than the moths. You're pretty involved in recording the Bounceweasels, so you don't notice another family of them moving into your position over your head until it's too late. Like the Dwarfs Moth, you had the audacity to stand still for too long in their territory. You yelp as you're pelted by a hail of sharp-toothed creatures. Oh no! Endure it! I made it. You cover your head and neck and the Bounceweasels, well, bounce right off of you. Some of them cling to your jacket, nipping little holes into it, but when they can't get their teeth into you, they bounce away into the forest, chittering in anger. You can't wait to show Cal the battle of cute versus cute. This planet is pretty cool. Plus now you have an idea about how to keep the moths from stealing your crops. Perfect! Just when I ran out of energy, too. We have lots to do. You find Cal and excitedly drag him to the barn where he keeps his pet Dillypillar. I brought some plants for Socks to try. You tell Cal about the Dillypillar you saw in the plains. She's really gonna get that big? Cal breathes. He looks as worried as you feel. You lay out the native plants for Socks to try. She sniffs each one, nibbles one, then another. She rejects all the grasses and twigs. Cal groans and pulls his hair. Last up is the orange flower. There are some dirty rocks attached to its roots, and when you go to brush them off, it attracts her attention. She crawls onto your arms, sniffs closer at the rocks, then tentatively licks one. She squeaks with joy and puts it into her mouth. No, Socks, that's not food, Cal exclaims. Then, you hear her grinding away at it with her teeth. She does have very big molars. They look like they're made out of crystal rather than bone. Wait, do you have diamond teeth? You take a little closer look at the rocks. They seem to be the same iridescent mineral as the cliff. You give it a lick, but it doesn't taste like anything. You both shrug. This is the happiest Cal has seen Socks in weeks. You guess she needed some rocks in her diet. Aw, that rocks! Your mom is tending to her garden as you relax nearby. You're both happy to leave each other alone, but you can hear her muttering to herself as she pulls weeds. Every day, she grumbles. You'd think I was never here at all, with how some of these weeds grow. I thought that bringing only nice plants would mean we wouldn't have to weed as much, but these Vertumnan plants, they're unstoppable. She pulls hard on one weed, which turns out to be a huge creeping vine that yanks out a few flowers. I just want one place on this planet that's ours. Ask more about Earth. It was like this place, your mom says, but a lot worse. She sits back on her heels and wipes her face. Hot summers, cold winters, summers, wildfires, smog, radiation. Weeding was the least of our problem, honestly. That's why I wanted this place. Something that could remind us of the Earth that was. Your mom dumps a huge armful of weeds into a wheelbarrow. These go all the way to the edge of the colony, she says wearily. Whatever plant these roots belong to, they're invading my garden. She turns towards the wall and yells, "You stupid pink bastard, stay out where you belong!" Those damn weeds! Alright, now we can work on the farm? Ah! You play the recording of the squeaking Bounceweasels for your mom and Cal. You sure this is going to work? She asks when it's done. It sounds annoying. You swear it will work. You saw it while you were exploring. It might not sound like much, but the huge Dwarfs Moths are terrified of the little Bounceweasels' hunting calls, and with good reason. You set up the speaker system and play the recording all night. The next day, there's no sign of the Dwarfs Moths. Your crops are completely safe. I think it worked, Cal says, sounding relieved. Yabby, you're a genius! Oh yes, 2 colony food, that's good! You're just glad that all your hard work isn't going to be feeding those pesky moths anymore. More food for the colony! Oh yes, we need it. We only have so long before everything starts to go downhill. You've had a project going in the greenhouse lab for a few years now, splicing the genomes of plants from both Earth and Vertumna, trying to come up with a way to make Earth plants more likely to take root and flourish in the nitrogen-weak Vertumnan soil. Gene tech has always been a part of your life. Everyone you know has some sort of genetic enhancement, and have had some large-scale gene editing later in life, like Tangent's transition. You know it's possible, but your knowledge of Vertumnan genomes isn't as complete as the human genome. The trick is finding the right Vertumnan genes to splice into exactly the right Earth plant. So, can you do it? Will today be the day you might make that breakthrough? Let's try! That would be really helpful! 65? Oh, we could do it. Come on, we could do it. I have stuff that I can use. Six, 2, 1, 1. Yes! We did it! Food! More food! You double-check congruence of simulations 100 times, and the results are always the same. A truly viable genome composed of genes from both Earth and Vertumna, and in every chemical simulation congruence can run, it successfully takes root and flourishes. Whoa! 5 colony food?! You take a look at that tiny, barely sprouted plants. This could be the beginning of a new era of agriculture on this planet. Being able to plant crops that actually grow strong in the soil. It might be only one plant for now, but who knows? Maybe in the future you'll be able to use this for all sorts of crops. Your mom has always been a result-oriented person. She doesn't like to experiment just to see what might happen. She likes science that she already knows and trusts will work. When you call her in to see what you've done, she smiles as proudly as you've ever seen her smile before. Even she can't argue with Congruence's results. You'll earn twice the kudos for working in the lab from now on, in recognition to your contribution to the colony's continued survival. I did it! I mean, that doesn't mean that she's gonna survive yet. But we've got to be close, right? If we could get everything in the Valley of Vertigo, we should be good. If we could keep it up. When the rains come, it's time to harvest the crops. Really, this should have been done before wet, but everyone's been so busy that the corn is practically drooping to the ground, laden with fat yellow cobs. It's going to be a struggle to get everything harvested before it rots. It's up to you, Cal, and the rest of the agriculturalists to save this year's harvest. Your mom claps you and Cal on the back. Come on, kids, she says. A little hard work won't hurt you. Why don't you make a game out of it and see which one of you can harvest more ears of corn? Cal almost never likes competitive games, but he begrudgingly admits that he'd probably work faster if he pretended to compete. Game on! Alright, a biology challenge or a toughness challenge? I could raise my toughness a little more, so let's do that. Alright. Huh? Oh. Yes! You pour your sweat and muscle into it and brute force your way to victory. You and Cal are both exhausted and happy with your hard work in the end. It doesn't really matter who won. The colony has enough food, and that's all that matters. But you're secretly a little extra proud of yourself. Your mom is proud of you too, and slips you some extra kudos for all your effort. There's more where that came from, she winks. Harvesting the fastest. Nice! We didn't get any food for that, I don't think, but we did get a lot of food from xenobotany, which will be very helpful. Haha! I got my pet Hopeye back. Alright, so we've got Wiggles. What should we name you? We've got Wiggles, we've got Socks, but a Hopeye only has 1 foot, so how about I name you, Sandals. Socks and Sandals. Yay! Another year, another glow. Everyone's pretty sure there's going to be an attack this year, so the colony is on high alert. You're collecting glowflies in the Geophonics Gardens with Cal and Nemi when the sirens begin to wail. You all stop what you're doing and look at each other nervously. Your parents run to help defend the farms, telling you to get inside the greenhouses and stay quiet. Nemi declares she's going to the walls to watch the soldiers fight. She knows a good spot. You know what? I'm gonna stay inside, because that gives me friendship with Cal. You and Cal do as you're told while an enemy heads for the walls. You manage to push a trunk of gardening supplies across the door. They're automatic doors, so it won't stop them from opening, but at least it'll buy you a few more seconds to run away if something tries to come through. Cal looks at the glass ceiling and walls. If they come through the door, he mutters. He shows you a good hiding spot, and together you curl up and try not to make any noise. I just hope nobody gets hurt, he mutters, hiding his face in his knees. After a while, the all clear rings throughout the colony. You and Cal come out of your hiding place and creep back outside. In the distance, you can see 2 of the largest fields have been torn up. Cal shoots you a worried look, and you go back to collecting glowflies in silence. You watch your mom and dad survey the damage with grim, tight body language. Huh. Do we lose any food from that? What happened to the fields? Tell me! I work in them too! Oh, we've grown up a little bit! Alright, well this is where we're going to end this episode, but next year we're going to be dealing with the famine, and we're going to see if we can save our mom. I don't think we're going to save our dad, just because after letting Tammy die, I feel like we don't deserve it. Oh, and also Tonin, I once again forgot that I let him die. But we'll worry about all of that next time. Until then, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing. Remember to take care of yourselves, watch your back for Bounceweasels, and have a good day.